Fever's Sophie Cunningham fined by WNBA for subtly savage TikTok refs video. Sophie Cunningham took a subtle shot at referees in a recent TikTok video. The Indiana Fever's post didn't go over well with the WNBA league offices. On Wednesday, Cunningham revealed she had been fined $500 for the video. In a video captioned, "At some refs," Cunningham sang along with a quick song lyric. "Stupid, or is it slow, or is it useless?" Cunningham also wrote, "I'm just trolling." The Fever have shared their frustration with officiating often this season. Superstar guard Caitlin Clark gets played extremely physically by opponents. Cunningham, known as the enforcer for the Fever, certainly doesn't shy away from an intense game herself. Leagues often fine players and coaches for making comments about the officiating in media appearances. Apparently now they're watching social media too, and Cunningham paid the $500 price. Right-hander Kevin Gausman gets Game 1 start for Blue Jays in ALCS against Mariners, Toronto. It has become a familiar routine for the Toronto Blue Jays since securing the top seed in the American League on the final day of the season. Rest, prepare, and perform. It worked like a charm against the New York Yankees in the AL Division Series. The Blue Jays, who have had a 3-day break between games, are hoping for an encore showing in the AL Championship Series against Seattle. "I think we're going to be ready to roll," said Toronto outfielder Miles Straw. "I feel like that was the perfect amount of time to miss and still be locked in." The division title gave Toronto home field advantage and a bye past the wild card round. The Yankees went the distance in that best-of-3 series against Boston and were worse for it against the Blue Jays. A similar situation exists now against the Mariners, who will visit Rogers Center for Game 1 on Sunday night. The Blue Jays could rest and reset their rotation after wrapping up the ALDS on Wednesday, while Seattle was pushed to a decisive game against Detroit that ended late Friday. The Mariners needed 15 innings to complete the Game 5 win and then spent Saturday afternoon flying across the continent. "We're coming off a highly emotional series and have gained some momentum from that," Mariners manager Dan Wilson said before departing from Seattle. "I feel like we're in a good spot and looking forward to getting it started." The Blue Jays, meanwhile, had a loose workout and took some batting practice on the eve of the best-of-7 opener. Kevin Gausman will start Game 1 for Toronto while Seattle counters with Bryce Miller. "Anytime you're handed the ball for what is the most important game up to this point, you're always going to be fired up and ready for that," said Gausman, who earned the win in Game 1 of the ALDS. There were several question marks ahead of the Jays series roster announcement on Sunday morning, none bigger than the status of shortstop Bo Bichette. The team's hits leader ran the bases Saturday for the first time since suffering a left knee sprain 5 weeks ago, said Blue Jays manager John Schneider. "It's a roster decision that will likely go down to the wire. Everyday availability would be best-case scenario. That's pretty easy," he said. "But I think it's a weird time crunch with the series starting tomorrow, and him having to check some boxes here today, too." Veteran right-handers Max Scherzer and Chris Bassett could also return after being left off the ALDS roster. Seattle starter Brian Wu, pectoral inflammation, may make the cut for the Mariners. "We're continuing to assess his availability," Wilson said. "He seems to be rebounding pretty well." Schneider said it was a definite possibility that rookie Trey Yestovich could start Game 2 and Shane Bieber could start Game 3. That would be a repeat of the starting order in the ALDS. The Mariners, meanwhile, had to use starters Logan Gilbert and Luis Castillo in relief in their deciding win over the Tigers. Seattle used 7 pitchers in the near 5-hour game, but Miller was not one of them. It will still be short rest for the right-hander, who threw 55 pitches on Wednesday in a 9-3 loss in Game 4. "He's excited to get the ball," Wilson said. "We're excited to hand him the ball. We'll take him as far as he can go." "He's excited to get the ball," Wilson said. "We're excited to hand him the ball. We'll take him as far as he can go." It's Seattle's first ALCS appearance since 2001. The Blue Jays last played in Major League Baseball's Final Four in 2016. The Mariners swept the Blue Jays at Rogers Center in the wild card round in 2022. Game 2 was scheduled for Monday in Toronto. The series will shift to T-Mobile Park for Game 3 on Wednesday and Game 4 on Thursday. If a 5th game is necessary, it would be played Friday in Seattle. Toronto would host Game 6 on October 19 and Game 7 on October 20 if needed. The ALCS champion will advance to the World Series against the National League champion. The Blue Jays haven't won the Fall Classic since 1993. This report by the Canadian Press was first published October 11, 2025. Gregory Strong, The Canadian Press. Mariners stay home to avoid fatigue after 15-inning win sets up ALCS battle with Blue Jays. Toronto AP. The Mariners decided to go sleepless in Seattle instead of being tired in Toronto. After celebrating their 3-2 win over Detroit in Game 5 of the AL Division Series, the team stayed in Seattle before heading to Toronto for a late Saturday arrival ahead of an AL Championship Series matchup against the Blue Jays. "Our guys will be ready," Mariners manager Dan Wilson said. "We'll get there tonight, get some rest, and we'll be ready to go." In the ALCS for the fourth time and first since 2001, Seattle opens the best-of-7 series on Sunday night. After eliminating the New York Yankees with a Game 4 win in their division series on Wednesday night, the Blue Jays were free to relax on Friday. Outfielder Miles Straw and teammate Davis Schneider went out together to a Toronto bar to see who they face in the team's 8th trip to the ALCS, its first since 2016. "Would have liked to have got out a little bit sooner, but we had a good night," Straw said of the late finish. Seattle used 3 starting pitchers in Friday's win over Detroit, with Luis Castillo and Logan Gilbert both entering in relief. That leaves Bryce Miller, who started Wednesday, to take the mound Sunday on 3 days' rest. "It's super cool," Miller said. "I'm fired up." Miller threw 55 pitches in Game 4, allowing 2 runs and 4 hits in 4 1/3 innings. "We'll take him as far as he can go," Wilson said. Miller will be opposed by Kevin Gausman, who hasn't pitched since giving up 1 run and 4 hits over 5 2/3 innings in Toronto's ALDS opener on October 4. Blue Jays manager John Schneider said Gausman's consistency and calm make him the right choice. "There's something about his demeanor, just kind of his presence every day, where the day he's pitching everybody feels a little bit more confident going into it," Schneider said. Seattle, the only current big league team to never host the World Series, has won 2 games or fewer in 3 previous ALCS trips, losing once to Cleveland and twice to the Yankees. Toronto, which lost the ALCS to Kansas City in 2015 and to Cleveland in 2016, won 4 of 6 meetings with the Mariners during the regular season, losing 2 of 3 at home in April and sweeping a 3-game series at Seattle from May 9 to 11. The teams haven't faced each other since. "It's definitely a fun city," Seattle star Cal Raleigh said of Toronto. "It's a nice stadium, and they're a good team. Always look forward to the challenge of playing them. Just always fun." Running start. Schneider said shortstop Bo Bichette ran the bases Saturday, the first time he's done it since spraining his left knee last month. The 2-time AL hits leader and 2-time All-Star was injured in a September 6 collision with Yankees catcher Austin Wells and hasn't played since. "I don't want to say he's our last decision, but he's one of them," Schneider said. "Obviously you want his bat in the lineup." Bichette has been taking swings against teammates Max Scherzer and Chris Bassett in recent days. "A lot of swings look pretty good," Schneider said. Controlling Cal. After doing a good job of keeping New York's Aaron Judge in check during the division series, Toronto's pitchers now face the job of containing Raleigh. The switch-hitting catcher had 60 home runs during the regular season and hit 1 more in the ALDS. Raleigh has 7 home runs in 11 regular season games north of the border and went 4 for 8 with a homer in Seattle's sweep of Toronto in the 2022 Wild Card Series. "What a season he's had, and what a great switch hitter at such a hard position to hit," Gausman said of Raleigh. "To catch as many games as he has, what a season he's put together. I also feel confident with myself that I can go out and get him out. I've gotten him out before, so now it's just about mixing up pitches and trying to keep him off balance." Trade day. Schneider said rookie Trey Yestovich, who set a Blue Jays postseason record by striking out 11 Yankees in 5 1/3 innings in ALDS Game 2, is a definite possibility to start the second ALCS game. Yestovich rose through 4 minor league levels this season before joining the Blue Jays and going 1-0 in 3 September starts. Yestovich walked out to the bullpen during Game 4 Wednesday, but Schneider acknowledged Saturday that he didn't intend to use him in that game. Yestovich struck out 160 batters in 98 innings in the minors. including his ALDS start, he has 27 strikeouts in 19 1/3 big league innings.